Jay Frank, your time is coming, but I don't see Oregon. I don't see Auburn on our list.
All right, guys, we're officially back. We told you all week we're gonna do one better every year. We're gonna keep getting better. This year we got graphics. So right off the back, we're starting with Georgia. We're starting with Georgia. So, the win totals are out. Georgia's win total is, I believe, at 9.5 or 10.5. Not super positive on that, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through their schedule. Okay, we're gonna go through their schedule. Then we're going to pull up FanDuel's over under for Georgia. Um, and we're going to see if we're spot on with it. And we got some cliff notes for you for Georgia because we respect Georgia as a program, but listen, we've got they've got a lot of things to fill, starting with the quarterback position. So obviously, obviously we're going to go to week one. We're just going to count that as a win. So Marshall, I don't care what Marshall got going on. They're not beating Georgia. I don't care what Georgia's got going on. They're not beating Georgia. So we're going to count that as a win. Okay.
Yep.
Who is that? New Mexico? What are we doing? What are we doing,
Come
Cody?
on.
We got New
Move it
Mexico.
on.
Moving on. Okay, so this is the SEC opener, Tennessee. So they're at Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't have any Nico. I don't know what Tennessee's got going on over there. So I'm going to give them a win. That's 3-0 for me.
I'm fine with that.
Then we're going to Alabama. So this is another Tier 1 program. They lost last year. This one, it's home. I do think they will beat Alabama. What about you?
I agree. I'll give them that win.
Yeah. I do think they'll beat Alabama. I think it'll be a close one. I think they have maybe not more, but just the home field advantage and something notable. I don't think Georgia's played anybody pristine at home in a long time. Like with the both being good, the records, a lot on the line. They've always either on the road or the team that was supposed to be good. They wound up coming into Georgia that week and taking a loss before. So I think this is going to be a good game. Season ticket holders for Georgia are finally happy because they get a good game at home. So I do think they'll win that game. So that's 4 wins. Kentucky. Now, last year we told you they always struggle with Kentucky on the road. They always struggle with Kentucky on the road. And what did they do on the road against Kentucky? They struggled. So they're at home this time. I think they're going to blow the doors off
Win
Kentucky.
easily. Yeah.
Kentucky's a tier 4 bottom feeder program as far as expectations this year. I don't see Kentucky making any noise this year. I do think Georgia's going to have a slam dunk with them. So we got them at 4-0 so far. Then this is where it starts getting spooky. They play Auburn at Auburn. So with this, it's all about the narrative, what's going on with Auburn, what time this game is, what's going on. Injuries. So off initial look, I would say Georgia will beat Auburn. However, it's going to be so many scenarios. This is where we said it's going to get spooky, and it's going to come down to your quarterback because Auburn, I believe they picked up a quarterback in the portal, correct?
Yes, Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma.
Okay, so they have high expectations too. This is going
They
into
do.
Auburn. I think Auburn will approximately. I think when we looked at it, I think they would be almost like 4-1 or 4-2. So this will be a very big game for them.
There.
Man, what do you think, Josh? So we got them at 4.
I take Auburn. I take Auburn right here.
I think this is the spot where Auburn takes that step into that tier 2 realm and they beat Georgia at home. I really do.
At home. Yep.
I think they beat Georgia at home. So we're gonna go Georgia with their first loss to Auburn.
5-1.
So no, that's four. That would be 4-1. So there'd be 4-1 right there, right? Yep, 4-1.
5-1. They beat Kentucky.
Marshall, New Mexico. Yeah. 5-1. So there'll be 5-1. Correction. So we've got Georgia losing to Auburn in a tight spot. That's where it's going to get spooky. Moving on, the bounce back game. Ole Miss is going to be absolutely terrible this year. They're taking a
They
step
will
back.
blow their doors off.
They're going to blow the doors off of there. I would be very surprised if Ole Miss goes in there and competes with Georgia. Just with the talent that Ole Miss has brought in this year, I think they're about a year or two away from being back to what they were last year, unless they just go bananas in the portal. So I think they're gonna handle Ole Miss easily. Again, now we're going up to Florida, so we got them 6-1 going to Florida on a neutral site. This is another big game. I believe it's probably going to be at 12 or 3 o'clock. It's in Jacksonville, so it's a neutral site. And
Neutral site.
I just think Florida has the better quarterback.
I do too. And this is that time of year where Florida, they sputter, and and then around this time is when they start winning games. And so I
Yeah.
think this is a win for Florida right here.
Yeah, so I do think Florida's going to beat Georgia right here. Now, if they don't, that's really good for Georgia. But this is going to be a tough. This won't be like those games where they just run over them. I watched the game last year. I want to say, did Lagway get hurt this game last year?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he did. I watched that game. They were not running over them. Florida was in position to win that game before he got hurt. They were in that game, and then I don't know who stepped in, and it just went downhill. Georgia just put a vice grip on them. So we got them. So we got them 5-2, right? No, 6-2.
6-2. 6-2.
6-2. Got Georgia 6-2. Mississippi State. There's nothing to talk about. 7-2. All right, here we go. They got another big game for them. They got Texas coming into their building. I'm sure this will be a primetime game at 7.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't know, Josh, what you got?
I would like to pick Texas to win this game, but it's at home with Georgia. I think this is going to be a really good game, and I think I'm going to stick with Texas.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with. I think Texas is just better than them.
Too.
This is a college football now is transitioning to the NFL system. The better quarterback, I don't want to say 9 times out of 10, but in college it's like 7 or 8 times out of 10. The team with the better quarterback is usually the elite teams with the better quarterback is usually going to win. The better quarterback, like the NFLs. The elite teams with the better quarterback usually win. It's football. Anybody could lose, but I think Texas is just more stout than Georgia right now with that recruiting class. I think they're on like year 3. It is time. And Georgia's quarterback and their running backs and their wide receivers, I just don't think they have enough to beat Texas. And that's an okay loss for them. So we got them at 3 losses right now.
Yep.
Charlotte, home team. Obviously, we're going to get our teeth kicked in. I don't even know why Georgia's playing them, but whatever.
8-3.
8-3. And it's going to come down to this Georgia Tech game on the road. So.
And we all know, everybody watched that game last year. Everybody's seen the overtimes.
The overtime. So, in the perfect, how this thing works, usually because they played them tough last year, they might blow their doors off them this year. But, man, Georgia Tech is tough, man. At home, they should have lost to them last year. They're going to be highly, highly motivated. So, man, we've got Georgia with 3 losses already. So I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say they're going to beat. And 2, proven otherwise. For me, I'm going to say Georgia's going to beat Georgia Tech.
So you got Georgia 9-3.
I got them 9-3, just off the respect for Kirby and his program. I've already given them losses to Auburn, Florida, and Texas. If they lose to Georgia Tech, there is no playoffs for Georgia. There is no world.
Well, on this side, we're going to take Georgia Tech, and Georgia's 8-4.
Well,
We're taking Georgia Tech. The
and
better quarterback. Haynes, you can't argue it.
I can't argue with it. So that piggybacks us. So we've got Georgia on the fringe of 8-4, 9-3. The current odds on FanDuel is Georgia minus 9.5. So I don't think they're winning 10 games. That I absolutely do not think Georgia's winning.
They're not
10
winning
games.
10 games.
They're not winning 10 games. Let's just go back and just say they have a very good season. They beat Auburn. They should beat them. So that's one win. That's 9 that's 9. And then they beat Florida. So they would have to be their season for them to go 10 wins. They would have to either beat Auburn, Florida, Texas. Those are the swing games because I do think they're going to be and we're at Alabama. So out of those 4 games, they have to win 3. They have to
They're not
win
doing
3.
it.
They have to be Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Texas. They have to win those games.
I don't see it happen.
They have to win 3 of the 4 games for them to have that over 9.5. So I put them right at 9 and I told Josh all the time, 9-3. It's like that's like the new 11-win season. The teams are just way more even now. So if you win 9 games, that's a good season, especially in the SEC. That's getting you in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So this is where it gets spooky for Auburn. We have no idea what Goddard Stockton is going to give you. Like Paul Farnburn, we're going to pull up a clip of Paul Farnburn talking to Kirby Smart. So we're going to pull a clip up of Paul Farnburn. And we're just going to laugh. Let's see.
Sit back, grab a drink.
Sit back, grab a drink. Let's see. Where are we at? Where's Paul at? Let's see. Where are we at, Paul? Okay. Where is that thing? Where are we at? Here we go. So, like I said, we're going to pull up a flip of a very respected analyst for college football that'd be spot on.
Talk to him, Paul. Come going on mute.
I didn't miss it.
You can't hear it.
Around him after the SEC championship game.
You can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
You did your job.
No.
Okay.
What about now?
I have admired you and respected you for so many years.
Absolutely.
What about now?
Interview I did on ESPN.
Yeah.
I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it.
Can't hear no more.
The SEC championship game, but I was underwhelmed.
You gotta stay off mute.
Okay.
Sugar Bowl
All
loss to Notre
right.
Dame. I just always hope that when I say these things at a busy time like this, that you are
Can you
not.
hear it now, though?
I'm looking at a man whose
Mhm.
job it is to tell you what's being said, right?
Yeah,
Interview I did on ESPN because I
didn't miss it. I didn't miss it.
Okay.
Georgia will be fine or not fine with Gunnar Stockton now their starting quarterback.
I would say that's a big not fine. I know the team coalesced around him after the SEC championship game, but I was underwhelmed by what I saw from Gunnar Stockton in the Sugar Bowl loss to Notre Dame. I just always hope that when I say these things at a busy time like this, that you are not. But I'm looking at a man whose job it is to tell you what's being said, right?
Yeah, I'm excited. Gunnar got the message, man. He got the message. You did your job.
Okay. Listen, I have admired you and respected you for so many years.
Absolutely.
I feel like at this point in your career, you need a little help from me.
I appreciate
to get you to the first game and over the finish line.
I'm glad you did. You've always been. That's why I always come on your show because I.
Folks, do you have it?
Kirby, cut it out.
So,
Kirby, stop.
so you've heard Paul.
I'll let you go first.
You heard Paul say you're not fine with Gunnar Stockton at all. I respect you as a coach. I respect your program, but you're not fine with Gunnar Stockton at all. He stinks. He'll get you over. Gunnar Stockton will get you over the Marshall game. He'll get you in the Mexico game. He'll get you the Tennessee game. I'll even give him Alabama. I'll give him Kentucky. Then we're in week 5. Film starts coming out. I think Auburn, you're going to struggle. Okay? Ole Miss, he'll give it to you. Florida, Lagway's better. Mississippi State, I could go out there and play quarterback. Georgia will probably beat Mississippi State. Texas, you're definitely not better than Archie Manning. I don't care what anybody say. Archie Manning is the real deal. Charlotte, obviously you're better than, and then Georgia Tech, you're definitely not better than Haynes King. So again, Kirby, you're not fine. You are not fine with Gunnar Stockton, and we have no idea who your backup quarterback is.
That's why I'm at with it, bro. It's crazy to me. This kid, he did simple checkdowns in every game that we've seen him play. And so I don't know as a Georgia fan how you can feel confident going into this season with unproven wide receivers. You went heavy in the portal. You get Kobe Young back, but you go heavy Zachariah Branch from USC, Noah Thomas from Texas A&M. You've added this talent, but then you're in the same position. The quarterback doesn't know these guys, so it's no different than adding a portal quarterback. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But when we seen the defense, those guys went to the NFL. So we're gonna have to see about Georgia this year.
Bruh. Well, Georgia, listen, we're showing you the utmost respect. We had so much respect for you last year. We had you damn near in the national championship game. And
we didn't even play the drop clip. We didn't even play it. We didn't even play the drop clip.
So you're not fine at quarterback. You're not fine at quarterback. And you can clip this up, you can cite it, you can do whatever you want. Georgia has not had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2002. Brock Bowers is not a receiver. I don't even think he had 1,000 yards. 2002. So that leads me to this. What is going on? So your quarterback stinks. Okay.
Who's the wide receiver coach?
Oh, my goodness. Let's see. What is going on?
Oh, my God. Not James Coley. That's my homie, too. I rock with James Coley. He got Miami ties.
When you guys see this, you're absolutely gonna scream.
You'll
Absolutely.
see why. You'll see why we're apprehensive.
You guys are gonna absolutely scream. Let's see. So UGA has not had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2002. We are now going to show you something absolutely hilarious. Let's see. Oh no.
That's the basketball!
Oh no. Where's the
It's the
script?
truth.
Oh no. All right, guys. Tune into something very funny. We just talked about Georgia, their wide receivers. Pay attention. Now, this is Georgia's receivers of last year.
That's the fucking ball! That's the fucking ball!
No.
That's the fucking ball!
Why is it loaded so long? No, sir. You guys are going to get this full clip. I need you to see all of this. Let's see. Can you hear it, though, Josh?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's a little low.
Let's see. All right. There's a little lag behind it.
That's the fucking ball! That's the fucking ball!
That's a dot from 15. Another dot from 15.
What the You can't get him! You can't fucking get! Please end the game. What the fuck?
This is a whole nother game. Completely
This is
different
a
fit.
whole other.
I don't even know who the fuck you are. Let's go the fuck home.
So we'll stop it there. But as you can see, Georgia is in trouble. So their receivers, that was last year, but they haven't shown us anything that will make them difference makers coming up in the season. So our final take, Well, final take. Josh has got Josh, you got Georgia 8-4.
Correct.
I've got them 9-3. Josh has got them 8-4. I've got them 9-3. So we'll come back to that, but make no mistake. I mean, we're definitely not saying 10, and we're definitely not saying 7. They're going to be right there, and I do think they're going to make the playoffs. They're still going to make the playoffs. So, Josh, let me ask you: you got them at 8-4. You still think they go to the playoffs?
Absolutely did.
Oh my gosh, Josh with the take has Georgia at 8-4, not going to the playoffs. Holy
Absolutely not.
smoke, Josh. No.
Not fine. Not fine.
They are
Bro.
not fine.
But I mean, there's better teams in SEC. I think, and this is what I think. Texas A&M got a chance. I think Florida has a chance. There are better teams that have. I think South Carolina has a chance. You know,
Right.
there are better teams that with better quarterback play, who I think have better chances. And we'll know. I mean, we'll know by week 4 who they are. Because if you're not 3-1 at the minimum, 4-0 going into that Kentucky, well, let's just say if you're not 5-1 or 6, you know what I'm saying, going into that Auburn game, you were in trouble, bud.
So
So
that's
yeah,
so you have the
we'll know.
Auburn game at the swing game.
Yeah, yes, because you've already played Tennessee, you've already played Alabama, and I know you're going to beat Kentucky. So those 3 wins is guaranteed. That
So
Tennessee game looks like a sleepwalk, but that's your first conference game. So that's going to be it, you know.
so
So,
you
but
have
that
them.
Alabama game, whew,
So you got them 5. So basically, you got them 5-0 going to the Auburn game, and that's going to
yes,
let you
sir.
know whether they're going to win 8 or 9 games. If they beat Auburn,
Yeah.
so if they beat Auburn, do you still have them winning 8 games?
If they beat Auburn, that means they beat Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, and Auburn, and so that means they, you know, that changes things.
Yeah,
Because now you only got you still play Mississippi State, you play Charlotte, you know what I'm saying, you still play Ole Miss, so that's 3 wins in itself.
yeah.
So they got
So
what 1, 2, 3, they got 5 scheduled wins on here, 6 really if you count Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? So you got 6 wins on the table. Where are those other 4 games coming from?
okay, I'm with you on there. So Josh's take is Georgia's season pretty much hinges whether they're going 9-3 or 8-4 on that Auburn game.
Yeah.
So that's going to kind of give you where you need to be. Me, I have them at 9-3. I just can't see Kirby losing to Auburn, Florida, Texas, and Georgia Tech and Alabama like in that rotation. I do think they'll. If I had to pick the games that they're going to squeeze out, Georgia Tech,
Mm-hmm.
Auburn, and Alabama. For some reason that Texas game I do have them losing, and it's going to be between Florida and Auburn. If they beat both of them, then Kirby, you got it. My bad, but I think your season hinges on Auburn and Florida. Put it right there. So we've got Georgia fringe 9-3, low end 8-4. For this, we do not have them winning over 9 games. Neither of us have them winning over 9 games. I have them right at 9. Josh has them right at 8. So again, I think the over/under is 9.5. I will play the under. Lean the under for Georgia, FanDuel, DraftKings, wherever you play your respective books at. So then we're going to transition to another SEC team, Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Ole Miss. I'm sorry. We've got you rated as a tier 3 program this year. Not saying that you're a tier 3 program, overall, but this year, based on expectations, transfer portal ins and outs, recruiting, what you lost on production, I do believe that you are going to be on the bottom half. So we didn't do this for We didn't do this for Georgia. Let's see. So we've got we did a little bit of research, and we got some stats. It was no need to do it for Georgia. Let's see. I got a pin to the conversation. What do we got here, Josh? We're going to pull up your returning production. The SEC returning production.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So where's that link at? Here we go. Copy.
I'm trying to see where you sent it to me.
I got it. So
Okay.
Ole Miss. We're gonna transition on to showing Ole Miss's okay. So what we got here, just a little bit of an article that was, put out based on production, and me and Josh have went to our stat sheet where we get all our information and kind of compared what you would look like this year versus the production last year and what team. So what I mean by that is, okay, what was your offensive stats last year? You were ranked 16th for offense. So the 16th ranked offense was LSU based on production offense of LSU. Let's see. So that would basically say if we are looking at Ole Miss, okay, so so LSU, they were ranked 16. Let's go down to Texas A&M. So they're saying that Texas A&M is going to be similar to LSU's offense. So LSU's offense averaged about 28 points a game. So let me double check that. Yes. So 28 points a game. So that's saying that Texas A&M is going to be similar. Their production is going to be similar to LSU's production last year. That's what this is based on. So just to give you a graphic of understanding on what we're talking about. So Ole Miss, offensively, Ole Miss was ranked number 8. Number 8 Ole Miss was ranked. Okay? Number 8. That was roughly about 30 points a game. 8. So if you go to where we get our stats from, team ranking, you will see their offense pretty much in the top 10. Now, look at the 111. 111 to give you something that you could visualize. Their offense is going to be like Oklahoma's offense of last year. So
And that's on the low end. And that's on the high end because that's as low as we can get on the graph.
Yeah, that's as low as we can get. So they're telling me that Ole Miss is and this is football. We could be wrong, but based off your production, with your returning starter. So me and Josh clarified: just because you're returning a starter doesn't boost up your production. So we've got all of that factored in with this. So you can return a receiver that started and only had 20 catches for 500 yards. Like that's not an impact. So we've got this article has it production, and a largely part of that is the reason why you're going to 111 because you're replacing your quarterback. 111 means you're replacing something huge. So just so everybody can understand what that means. If you looked at Colorado, their production would probably be like 95% because Shador Horn, all of them are gone. So that's kind of relative to what you're seeing is Ole Miss is probably going to be very subpar on offense. You know, they might still score points, but compared to last year, this is where their offense is going to be. So we can pencil you in for 19 to 21 points a game versus last year, we penciled you in for 30 to 35.
That's a 2 touchdown difference.
2 touchdown difference. So with that being said, we've got Ole Miss offense comparable to OU's offense last year. So week 1, Georgia State, the spread I think is 45.5. Will they beat them by that? Probably not. But they're going to win the game. So we're not here to talk about spreads just yet. So we got them 1-0. So just remember, we got them comparable to Oklahoma's offense at average of 21 points. In college, that's not a lot of points. Kentucky.
Should be a win. They beat you last year.
Jesus
There's
Christ.
no choice here. No choice. I don't want to hear it from Lane.
Josh, they play Kentucky the second week.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look, man.
Okay. Oh God. So they'll beat Kentucky.
Yeah,
They'll be 2-0.
that's 2-0.
Arkansas. It's
3-0. We're being nice.
so we've got Arkansas basically offense comparable to South Carolina's offense of last year. That's 28 points a game. So
Where's that game at?
it's at home.
I think they'll win.
Yeah, so 3-0. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I'm giving it a half. I'll give it a half.
I give it a half too because I also don't like this Tulane game, and so that's why I'm comfortable with giving it a half.
Man, I think they'll beat. They always struggle. I
They,
think they'll beat Tulane.
it'll be a close game. It's closer than what people think. That spread better not be no 28 because I'm
Yeah,
taking
it
it.
definitely better not be no 28. So, we got them. We got them
4-0
2-0.
or 3.5.
So we got 3.5. Okay. LSU absolutely losing that game. So now that's basically 3 and we'll say 3-2. We'll say 3-2. Washington State
4-2.
4-2. Georgia 4-3. Oklahoma.
500.
So we got a 4-4. And the reason why we're so quick on that because OU, we haven't got to them, but they have no excuse. I don't want to hear it. So 4-4. South Carolina.
No excuse. Loss. 4-5.
Citadel.
They'll beat Citadel.
5-5. Florida.
4.
They lost to Florida last year. And Florida.
And they're gonna lose to them again.
Okay, 5-6.
Mississippi State 6-6. 500 football team. Putting this down.
No, hold on, Josh. Hold on. Back up to you. They heard you. So, hold on, Josh. Hold on. Stop. Hold on.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to it, ladies. we only got about 20 more minutes.
Yeah.
Y'all can have them.
Well, the thing is, Josh. So you got them. We got them. Okay, we got them beating Georgia State. Stop, Tiki. We got them beating Georgia State. Got them beating Kentucky. We got them losing to Arkansas. We got them beating Tulane. That's
Hold on. Let's give them the Arkansas game. Let's just give them the
Okay,
Arkansas game.
3-0. So we got them 3-0.
Yep.
So-
4-0 going to Tulane.
So Georgia State win, Kentucky win, Arkansas win, Tulane win, 4-0, LSU loss, 4-1, Washington State 5-1, Georgia 5-2, Oklahoma 5-3, South Carolina 5-4, Citadel 6-4, Florida 6-5.
Okay. So 7-6.
Mississippi State. Whoa. I got them losing to Mississippi State. So you're a 500 football team.
Yeah, I forgot we do have them losing to Mississippi State. Egg Bowl. They're losing the Egg Bowl this year.
You're losing the Egg Bowl this year. No.
This
So we've got Ole Miss 6-6.
Can I say hi?
You already said hi.
is another SEC team that went to the playoffs last year that will not be in the playoffs this year.
No, sir, they did not go to the playoffs last year, Josh.
No, I forgot.
No, they
They
should have.
underachieved. They should have went to the playoffs. That's why our tickets were cooked.
Yeah, they should have went to the playoffs. No, sir.
Come on, Lane. Come on, Lane.
No, sir. So we got Ole Miss 6-6. Swing game.
Where does FanDuel have them at?
FanDuel I believe it has, has them at 7.5.
Well, even if you give them one win out of us, even if you give them the Florida game, even if you give them the Mississippi State game, even if you give them the Arkansas game, they're still 7. They're still 7-5.
Let's see.
I hope it's 7.5.
I believe it's probably 7.5. We're gonna see right now. Let's see. Over under for the over under for Ole Miss's win total is 8.5.
Well, that's definitely going under. So
Ole Miss.
I did.
Bet the under 8.5 for Ole Miss. We got them at best 7-5. At best.
At best.
And I believe I think they're going to be on the worst side. I think they're going 6-6.
And to the moon is 8-4, but that still does not get you your 8.5.
They're not going over 8.5. So take the under for Ole Miss under 8.5. Okay. Now we're gonna transition to a different conference. We're gonna go to the Big Ten. We're gonna go to Oregon.
But waiting on this one, we haven't got a chance to talk about Oregon this year.
So Oregon.
Dante Moore at quarterback, new quarterback.
So you have a very good quarterback. I don't care what any of your ESPN analysts, podcasters say.
He's a good quarterback.
That Oregon has a question mark at quarterback. They absolutely do not have a question mark at quarterback. They have I don't want to say a proven veteran, but they have a very good quarterback.
The backup is solid as well.
I will go to battle with Dante Moore because I've seen what he did as a true freshman at UCLA. He won some games. He had some good throws.
Under Chip Kelly,
he's been sitting a year. He's been learning, and that offense is going to be conducive to him. So, and Oregon has picked up. They picked up the Tulane running back that be toting the pill. So they got a good running back. They always have
the number one wide receiver.
Yeah, they
towards Achilles.
Yeah, but they don't really need number one. They don't really need those type of. Oregon doesn't
speed.
Need a Jeremiah. Well, before I get clipped up, I'm not saying they don't need Jeremiah Smith, but their receivers are they just need those shifty, fast. You need to be able to play in space with Oregon, right? You may not be that good, but in their system, you'll be 5 stars. You'll be going crazy. So as long as they got somebody like that, I think they'll be fine. So. Montana State, we're not even talking about it. They're winning that game. Oklahoma State, they're winning that game. I don't even know what's going on over there. They don't even have a conference. At Northwestern.
Smacking
them. Oregon State, smacking them. 4. Penn State.
Here we go.
This is a night game, Josh. This is a whiteout game. James Franklin's on the clock. Dan Landy's on the clock. So I'm upset that we can't do them both at the same time, so we'll come back to Penn State. But Oregon, this is a big game for you. This is a whiteout game for them. This is a night game. James Franklin does not lose to the teams not named Michigan,
Ohio State,
and Ohio State. So
There you go.
is Oregon on that tier to where he loses to these type of teams? I believe he lost he's like 1-16 versus top 5 teams. So I believe Oregon probably will be a top 5 team going into this
Yeah,
game.
oh, ain't
This
no
is gonna
problem.
be-
They will be.
ladies and gentlemen, the week of September 27th is going to be some great football. You got Alabama, Georgia. You got Penn State.
Clear your
Ole Miss.
schedules.
Clear your schedule. So this is a whiteout game. I keep saying that. So what are we doing, Josh? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
But I'm
What are
telling
we
you right
doing?
now, this is the biggest. This is the biggest game of James Franklin's coaching career, and I got Penn State winning.
You got Penn State winning?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I got Penn State. So Oregon gets their first L of the season, which is not a bad loss. It won't hurt their.
It's not a bad loss at all. Not a bad loss at all.
It won't hurt their. It won't. If this game doesn't fringe on anything, so I believe this game is like the Ohio State versus Oregon game last year, where Ohio State lost. It's fine, but this is a big game for Penn State. I got Oregon losing. So we got them at 4-1. Indiana.
Whew, this is a big game. Glad it's at home. I'm glad it's at home. If this game was at Indiana, I'd be picking on the other side. Oregon.
Oregon. I agree. 5-1. Rutgers.
6-1.
6-1. Physical game. I think Rutgers will play them
Yeah.
tough, but I
Yeah.
think Oregon's just better. Wisconsin 7-1. Iowa 8-1. Minnesota 9-1. USC.
Now luckily we've been doing this show for 3 years now. It's at home, but we've been doing this show for 3 years now.
That's always a tough.
We told you guys about USC 2 years ago. We said we're 2 years away from banning from USC. We haven't done USC schedule. We haven't looked at it. I promise you, we haven't. We went over this one a little bit. This is going to be a very big game because I don't know what USC schedule look like, but I would think that this is a swing game for them. And I think Oregon wins it, but I think this is going to be a really good game.
And then they finish up at Washington.
I think the way people talk about Washington right now, that was somebody that we wanted to add to the list. We're gonna have to get into the lab on Washington because we see a lot of people talking about them. But Jed Fish, he got his quarterback. They got some kids up there. Washington, for some reason, Washington always have good kids, and so and they got homegrown kids. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But I think Oregon still wins that game, and I think they end this season 10. What is it? What we had them at? Just losing one game, so 11-1. It's 6, yeah, 11-1.
Okay.
I have them at 11-1.
So they've got Oregon half.
Yeah,
I think they get it. So I think their season hinges on losing. I think the swing games for them is going to be Washington and Penn State. If they can split those games, they will win 11 games.
I agree.
So what do you think? Over or under 10.5?
If it was me, I think I'd take the over.
Yeah, I'll take the over. I'm taking the over. So
They're gonna be favored in every game except the Penn State game.
So remember, Washington didn't lose a game at Washington.
I don't care. They're gonna lose 2 this year because I know they play Ohio State at home and they play Oregon at home. And I mean, and we may get more information, and I may feel like, oh, Washington might be able to win this game against Oregon. But I know for a fact Washington's not beating Ohio State, and so I don't really care about your home field, Washington.
Okay.
Dan Lanning's been there before.
So looking at this schedule right here, Josh, where would be the trap game that you can potentially lose out of the teams not named like the big super teams? So out of USC, Minnesota, and Indiana, where's your they play Minnesota at home, USC at home, Indiana at home. Wisconsin at home. Okay, so it's gonna be the Penn State game and the Washington game.
That's why I said the only really games where I feel like they're gonna be anything close is gonna be the Penn State, Indiana, USC, Washington. Those 4 games, that's their season. If they
Yeah,
can go 3-1 in that, they'll be 11-1. But they're probably a top 3 team at that point too.
yeah,
But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if those games are a lot closer. Those are the swing games right there.
yeah. So
I will tell you this: I will give them 2 losses out of those 4. They'll lose. Maybe they might lose 2 of those games. I think they're going to win 3 out of 4. But
yeah.
let's just say that they lose 2. 10-2, bro, is not a bad season. You're still going to the playoffs.
So we've got Oregon. So we got Oregon going over 10.5. So bet the over Oregon 10.5 wins, and then we'll go to our last Big Ten team, Ohio State, the reigning national championships. The one that got the best receiver in the country on their team. Oh
Best
boy,
safety in the country on the team.
oh boy. But Ohio State. Again, this is like Georgia. I respect you as a program. Ryan Day, I respect you as a coach. Even when people wanted you fired, I was like, nah, man. You know, he'll get it done. But this year, man.
Around this time last year, I was very critical of Ryan Day.
Josh was on goddamn Ryan Day's ass, boy. You're fired, buddy. Same way he's on James Franklin's ass.
and Brent Venables. We're going to get to you, bud.
Yeah, we're so Ohio State. So a little bit about Ohio State. They lost the defensive coordinator. They're similar. I don't want to say the same as Ole Miss with production, but boy,
Lost a lot, bro.
The reason why I'm not going to say the same as Ole Miss, Josh, because I think they have better recruits coming in to replace that production
Absolutely.
they lost.
Absolutely.
But they lost
Absolutely.
Jenkins, Henderson, your quarterback. You know, Will Howard was a great college quarterback.
Couple O-linemen.
You lost Emeka Ibuka. You lost
Sawyer,
the Tua Tagovailoa with the hair, the defense. So they lost a lot of people on defense as well. So they've lost a lot of people, man. So what are we saying about week 1, Josh? You got Texas coming up there. It's a big game.
Texas is my national champion. So, and I think they start the year off with a bang, with a win right here.
We too. We believe that Texas will beat Ohio State week 1. Now, if you're watching this and we do see a clip, wait till we get to the week 1 of our specials because we're going to hand out, points and stuff like that. Definitely with a teaser. They're not losing. The spread is like 3.5. We're sprinkling money line on there. We're sprinkling some money line of Ohio State. With Texas. So we've got. So which you want to go on record right now and say Texas is beating Ohio State week 1? Oh, 1. So we got them 0-1.
I'm comfortable with that.
I'm comfortable with that too. Grambling 1-1. Ohio.
Yep.
2-1.
2-1.
Washington 3-1.
3-1.
Minnesota
4-1.
Illinois
5-1.
Wisconsin
6-1.
Penn State
7-1. What did Chip just tell you? Who does James Franklin lose to?
Yeah. No, sir. No, sir. I got Ohio State losing to Penn State. We'll get to James. I got Ohio State. This is the year
Bruh.
that game. I don't care if it's at home. We got Penn State's got Ohio State's old defensive coordinator. This is Penn State time. I got Ohio State losing that. So that right now they've got maximum of 2 losses. So I got them at 6-2. Purdue 7-2. UCLA 8-2. Rutgers 9-2. Michigan got them losing to Michigan. Nah, they're gonna beat Michigan. They're gonna beat Michigan. So I got them with 2 losses.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you this right now. If they beat Penn State, they're losing to Michigan. If they lose to Penn State, they're beating Michigan. So that's how I'm taking that one. So I'm taking them with 2 losses either way it goes.
They're losing to Penn State and they're beating Michigan.
Well then they'll beat me. Okay, then 10-2.
So 10-2. So Ohio State's over is
10.5.
so 10.5. So they're 10.5
Under.
under. Absolutely not. Well.
I think that
Let me take it back. So I got them losing to Penn State. I got them beating Michigan. So the swing game is Texas.
yeah. Yeah.
So if they
And I'm comfortable with that.
So if they beat Texas, how many wins does that give them? So 1, 2, 3, 4,
11
5,
and 1.
6. Yeah. So if they beat Texas, they'll more than likely go 11-1. So right off the back, we'll know. Now this doesn't do anything for their season. They can lose to Texas and they'll be fine. They can beat Texas and they'll be fine. So
Even if they lose to Texas and Penn State and beat Michigan, they're still 10-2 and they're going to the playoffs.
I got under 10.5 wins.
Me too.
Under 10.5. Ohio State under 10.5 wins. I think that's a good bet. I do think they're losing 2 games. And if you don't,
I mean, you're starting a quarterback that's never started games before this year. It's
and they
tough,
say he's
man.
good, but that's fine.
And he's good, man. He is good. He's good. I like saying,
You got Jeremiah.
but
I have them right at 10 wins. So
yep.
we got Ohio State at 10 wins. I'm not. Give me into the start of our week 1 ticket for the Texas Ohio State pick. I know for a fact I'm taking the points, but the money line, give me to week 1. But we're strong. I know Josh is 100% leaning Texas. I'm strongly leaning Texas. But just because I always like to think the fuck shit that like to happen because they're a national championship, they're at home,
Mm-hmm.
that type of fucking shit that be making people win. So give me to the opening week to put my official pick in, but I already know what Josh is. I know Texas is playing them tough. They got the better quarterback. I think they have the better returning production, but I still
I think they got
respect.
the better running back too.
Yes, yeah, they do. The running backs are healthy too. I don't even know who the Ohio State's running backs are. That's no disrespect. They might be 5-star.
There's no disrespect. It's the same thing. You know how it is. If I said his name, you probably know him. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Junkins and Henderson last year, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So
you can't. What are we doing? Like, I bet there isn't even a person on their roster that's returning at running back that has over 200 yards rushing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be honest
a
here.
lot, man. They're losing a lot. So, and I think Texas wants to get back. So, strongly leading Texas to winning the game. But I'll put it at a half. But that still doesn't get you over. That still doesn't get you over 10.5 wins. I think that's way too much. And I do think they lose to Penn State. I think they lose to Penn State at home this year. And I can't wait to go over James Franklin's schedule because the way Josh was on Penn State last year, I'm on him way harder this year. So, and we'll leave it at that. So that'll bring up our next show. We're going to start right off the back with Penn State, right off the back with them. So
Penn State, Auburn, Oklahoma,
yes.
Florida State, Georgia Tech. We got a lot of work to do.
We got a lot of work. So I appreciate everybody that tuned in. We'll get a lot of this stuff clipped up. We're going to continue.
And we'll get better.
We'll get better and better with graphics. Towards the season, it's going to be way easier because we're not going to need all these graphics. Here's what we're betting. Here's what we're doing, and don't deviate. This is just it for shits and giggles.
4 6s. 4 6s.
Yeah.
2 4 6s. We're not doing no more 8s and 10s. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Let's just flip our bread.
and just a little bit. Let's do these spreads, like interconference spreads that are over like 20-something points. Nah, bro. They're too equal.
Too equal. Well, shit, I'll tap in with you, shit.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mm.